Wow, look how high the river is. We've got a fresh flush coming through, and I've come down here to see if I can catch some crayfish. Hey you! You're watching Robbie Fishing. Now I'll probably be talking pretty quiet in this video because there's a walking track right behind me. I'm in the middle of town here. I haven't got any cray nets with me. I've come down just with 2 fishing rods, some chicken. I'm just going to cast my lines out with some chicken on them and see if I can catch a crayfish on my fishing rod. I've caught crayfish doing this plenty of times before, so I thought with a fresh flush coming through, it's worth a try. Anyway, I better cut some chicken up and get them on my line, get it on my lines and see how we go. RSPCA thigh cutless skinless. Now I'm actually using hooks today because I'm going to, with chicken there's a chance I can catch a Murray cod. Now, according to the Victorian rulebook, you can have up to 10 hand lines with no hooks. But if you've got hooks on them, that means you're fishing and you can only have 2. So if you want more than 2, you've got to have no hooks. But I've only got 2, so it doesn't matter. Right, let's cast that out. Hopefully the sinker's heavy enough to weigh the meat down. Well, it is, but it's slow. I can put a heavier sinker on if I need to. I've just re-rigged this light stumpy rod because it had a real small hook and sinker on it. I've got a huge big size 3 bean sinker and a 6.0 octopus hook from Jarvis Walker, the big red one. Alright, feels like I'm fishing for sharks. I might have to change the sinker on this other rod yet and see how we go. Now both lines are baited up. I won't get bites like fish bites, real sharp jabs. I'll most likely the little bit of slack that's in the line will just pull tight and the rod tips will slowly just move around a little bit. That's what it looks like when a crayfish bites. If something does bite really hard, well that's probably a cod that's picked up the chicken, but I've got half a chicken thigh on each line. Time to play the waiting game now. It's very hard to see, but something is nibbling at this meat. The line's just dancing around very, very faintly, and the rod tip just sort of went just a little tap tap, and that was it. I reckon there's something they're just chewing on it. I'll put my camera on my head and reel it in and see. Right, let's have a look. Is there a crayfish on here? No. Maybe I was a bit too quick. Yes, there is. There is. Because the meat's so heavy and the sinker's so heavy, I didn't realise there was one on there. I've got my bogs on so I can come out here and get a bit. Is he still there though? I think he's. Is he let go? I've got him. I'm on the board. Paternoster rigs and landing nets are not a good combination because now they'll all be tangled. Hasn't got eggs, but I'm pretty sure it's undersize. Well undersized, look, a good 1.5 centimetres undersize. But anyway, I'm on the board. I just laid it next to that Pepsi Max can to get a photo. The can gives scale to the size of the crayfish. In a lot of parts of the world that is enormous, but here it's undersized. Off you go, mate. Right, well there's one on the board. Hopefully I can get a few more before the rain gets here. It's going to rain today. I've got a few hours, I hope, before the rain gets here. Now, a couple of observations. When I'm fishing, I'm using a really small hook and a really small sinker. And when I get a crayfish bite, I just sort of see a slow bite. And then when I pick it up, I can tell almost straight away that there's a crayfish on it because it's so heavy. But what I've noticed, because I'm using a great big chunk of meat that's already heavy, and there's a sinker on there too, because it's so heavy, I didn't see the bite as well. The crayfish probably just walked up and started eating it rather than moving away with it. So it was really, really hard to detect the nibble. So it might be a good idea for me to just check these lines every half an hour or so. And the other thing I noticed, when I was reeling it in, because it's already so heavy, I didn't realise there was a crayfish on there. When I'm using just worms for bait and I catch a crayfish, the difference between the weight of the worms and the weight of the crayfish makes it really obvious. But the difference between the weight of that heavy chunk of meat and the crayfish makes it a lot less obvious. Couple of key findings so far. Here we go. Something's biting the little stumpy rod this time. I'll see if I can get the angle right so you can see. The line's just gone slack again. It's just pulling tight a little bit now. The line's just pulled really tight. The rod tip's just starting to move up and down a bit. Very, very, very subtle. Right, let's see if we can get another one. It doesn't feel like there's anything on there. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. There was just a bit of... Oh, did he let go? No, still there. Don't know how I'm going to go with the short rod. I was just thinking that a minute ago, the short rod might have been a bad idea. I don't think it's very big, but there's definitely one still on there. I think he is. He might have just let go. Just got a bit light. Right, the line on the long rod has gone really tight. Something worth noting is that it could be, that it's probably a crayfish, that's what I hope it is, but it could also be, with the river being high, it could be leaves or something just washing up against the line too, creating a bit of drag, but no, it's a crayfish. Oh, it's heavy. Oh yeah, this might be a bigger one. See if I can actually get this one after losing the last one. Just going to go nice and slow. You really don't want to rush this. Otherwise they just let go. I think he just let go. That's two I've lost. Something's taking up that slack right now. I wonder if I should let it sit there and have a feed for a minute before I reel it in. Or whether I should just reel it in. It's heavy. It's certainly on that. Hopefully this one doesn't get off like the last two. The problem I've got, I need my hands, but I also need to hold the net. It seems to be when I pause it like that it gets off. Like that, just got off. Oh, so frustrated. Look at how much the river has risen in the hour or so that I've been here. When I put my rod holder in, I put it in the water, but it wasn't that far in. It was only a couple of inches in like that. Gee, that's a big drone. I hope that drone pilot is a better drone pilot than I am. Well folks, this isn't the end of the video, but I've got a blinding headache, so I'm going to knock off early and go home and have a couple of Panadol and chill out, and then I'll come back out later today or tomorrow and continue. Right, well it's the morning after. I'm feeling quite a bit better. I've made my way back down the river, but I'm going to throw a cray net in as well. I'm still going to have my two fishing rods, but I'm just going to put one cray net in. I've got a couple of bait bombs here, baited with some redfin heads in there, and there's some other just redfin offcuts and stuff in that one with the mesh. I'll bait the cray net up, make my way to the river, and we'll get started. Bloody dog walker just went past and frightened the living daylights out of me. What is it with these motivated people this time of the day? Right, I've got my two rods baited up exactly the same as yesterday. Half a chicken thigh on each one. I'm just going to put them in now while it's dark, and then when it's light enough to see what I'm doing, I can move them around a little bit. Alright, so the lines are in. Well, the lines are in. Well, the lines are in. Well, my lines are in, my net's in, I'm in position. It's still dark and that's okay, that's fine. As the light improves and I can see a little bit better, I might move around a little bit and just, I'm not sure. I can't really see which way the current's flowing or how the river's looking. It's high. I'm actually in a different spot to where I was yesterday. I was upstream only 400 or 500 metres yesterday, but the water's come up too much and there's just too much shallow water there, so I've come here where there's a steeper bank. Right, what's the call? Nothing. Feels heavy, but there's 2 bait bombs in here, so that could be why. And I was correct on Monday. Nah, still nothing in it, I don't reckon. Right, there's something on this one. I'm hoping with the bank being a bit steeper here that I might be able to actually land them and not lose them like yesterday. He's coming in. He's coming in. I've got to keep it off the bottom. Right. And where is it there? Got him. Ooh, it's a nice one. Might nearly be a legal one. I reckon I've just got my first legal cray of the season. Oh, what an audience. You beauty. If that's not legal, I reckon it's going to be pretty close. If this is legal, I'll have to take everything out of my bucket to make room for it. That is... Yep, that's legal. It's legal by about 3 or 4 mils. I might keep this one. If I get a bigger one, I'll put this one back. I've just taken everything out of my bucket, but I'm just going to double check it. No, definitely legal. It's over by 3 or 4 mils. It's on the smaller side of legal, but it's definitely legal. Right on sunrise, just as the sun's coming up and hitting those treetops. That was just out there. Now I wanted to try and get crafty for a thumbnail photo. Righto, has the net caught one yet? I'm going to say no, it doesn't feel heavy enough. Gee whiz. At the high risk of getting snagged, I've decided to move my net down here a bit further, near this drain. Right, a net, good luck. Don't get snagged, although I think it's going to. This is the net that I moved. That was only half an hour or so ago. Hopefully it's not snagged. It's not snagged, but has it got a cray in it? Hope so. Yes, I have. You beauty. Just don't tip him out. It's only a little one though. Ugh. Wow, it's been slow. But I've got number 3. Righto, cray number 3. See you later, mate. Right, I'll give this net one more soak for half an hour, and then I'm going to pull the pin. I don't know what these ducks are doing out here. I think they're having a big fight or something. I used to sit here, sort of scared to film, because I'm worried I'm sitting here talking to myself. I must look like a real idiot. But I kid you not, every second person that's ridden past on a push bike or walked past is talking to themselves, because they've all got these earbuds that they can talk in, or in, I've got meta glasses, earbuds, headphones or whatever that act as microphones, and now everyone's walking around talking to themselves. So if I'm sitting here talking to myself to my camera, I sort of don't look as silly as I used to. People probably just think I'm on the phone, even though they can't see the phone. Righto, last check of the nets. Has the day got one more crayfish in it for me? Please don't be snagged. I'm surprised I didn't get snagged last time, or feel it run up against any snags. I reckon there's one in here. There it is too. Look, I could feel it. It felt heavy. You beauty. Another undersizer. Not as small as the last one. Tell you what, you know, I actually left the measure in the car, but I'm pretty sure it's undersize. If it's not undersize, that's very, very close to it. I only want one anyway, and that's not really an upsize if it is legal, so I'll throw it back. I think I'll call that one the clock. He's got one big hand and one small hand. Righto, clock. On your bike. See you later, mate. Oh, you nearly crashed into a bird. Well, I ended up with 4. 1 yesterday before I retired, hurting my name early. 3 today. 1 legal, 1 in those 4. 2 on rods, 2 in the net. I've had a great time. Thank you all very much for watching.